Hello everyone and a very good day. My name is Ahmad Aiman and today my team and I will be giving a presentation on famine. To begin, famine is known as a severe danger to sustaining life in various countries of the globe today. This phenomenon can be produced by a variety of factors, with some being environmental, which includes flooding, plagues and disasters, while others, such as a scarcity of food and a shortfall in meal delivery to certain portions of a country, are created by individuals. This can be seen when certain authorities across the globe have created rules that have inevitably enabled hunger to develop in their area, and civil conflicts have led to hunger in numerous nations. Looking back, when Mao Zedong wanted to enhance China's economy and farming, the poor and administrative policy resulted in being one of the world's worst famines. The famine's beginning may be dated directly to Mao Zedong's resolve to initiate the Great Leap Forward, which was endorsed mostly by the government of China's Communist Party. This massive deployment of the state's vast number of people was to produce, in a matter of seasons, a streamlined supply of labor into economic advancements that other countries had taken decades to generate. Communists were compelled to forsake all personal agricultural production and newly established farming collectives devoted in large areas to wheat, which accounted for over a percentage of China's daily calories. As a result, hunger gripped a quarter of China's provinces by the spring of 1959.
Famine is the condition whereby a large percentage of people in a state have a little or no access to adequate food supply, somehow giving an impact to the state and also global. We can see in Yemen, their life has ruined by the protracted and destructive conflict began in March 2015. A wrecked economy, unemployment, unpaid wages becoming the reason of food shortage and hunger in Yemen. As a result, the high rates of malnutrition among women and also children, with 1.3 million pregnant and breastfeeding women and also 2.2 million children. Globally, reported by Global Report on Food Crisis, about 193 million people in 53 countries faced acute food insecurity last year, and the worst condition can be seen in Horn of Africa. This year, more than 20 million people in Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya required food aids. Due to Putin war on Ukraine, making the condition worse, approximately 768 million people were chronically hungry even before the conflict, and making the number increasing after the conflicts. The question is, what are the roles of United Nations to solve this problem? Firstly, they have launched a program called Zero Hunger to decrease the number of hungers worldwide. One of the ways to do so will help small farmers produce more with less by providing them training, improved seed suppliers, agricultural tools, and also fertilizer to ensure higher yields. Secondly, by providing emergency food ration in humanitarian crisis. World Food Program deliver relief food items in any humanitarian crisis, making 91 million people receive food assistance across 82 countries, and 18 million children receive school meals across 60 countries in 2017. Thirdly, the United Children's Fund and the World Health Organization work hand in hand by providing emergency care and therapeutic to children and pregnant or lactating women in need to tackle malnutrition. And lastly, they focus on local economic system which ensure that local economies are supported and full whenever possible.
Moving on, because of the assistance and advantages they give to address the crisis, both non-governmental organizations and intergovernmental organizations played critical responsibilities in alleviating famine across the globe.
Meet Halima, a healthy, happy 2-year-old girl and daughter to Father Ma. But just a few months ago, life was very different. Back in February, before the COVID-19 pandemic, Halima was admitted to an Action Against Hunger treatment center with life-threatening hunger. Her hands and feet were swollen, her skin was peeling, and she urgently needed medical help.
waxaa dareemay yani walwal badan hooyo wax dhashay yani ismideen yani gabadha xanuunkan oo dhibkan badan ee mareyso laakiin ismideen nolol ay kugu fakanaysa xanuun badan aad dareemay cabsi badan.
Action Against Hunger are helping children just like Halima in Somalia and around the world. More than 2 million children under the age of 5 die every year globally because their diet lacks the nutrition to keep them healthy and safe from preventable diseases. It can take just 6 weeks to bring a child back from the brink. A course of life-saving therapeutic food can transform a child's life, just like it did for Halima.
marka waxay hadda wixii la siiyo iska cuntaa wayna faraxsantahay ku ciyaartaa ma sha Allah alxamdulillah
waa ku faraxsanahay gabadheeda caafimaadka iyo heshay hadda isi barbaartan waxa rajeynaa in dugsi iskool ah geysto.
Just $50 can pay for the life-saving therapeutic food that transformed Halima's health in just 6 weeks. There are many other children all over the world that desperately need your help.
waxaa u mahadnaqayaa dhaqaatiirta gabadheeda oo ii soo daaweysay way ku mahadsan yihiin asxaabta Jisakala.
Please do what you can to help. Thank you.
The NGO is a non-governmental organization that is normally founded independently of the government. They are generally non-profit organizations, with several of these organizations involved in human rights or sociology. Action Against Hunger is one such organization that is working to reduce starvation across the world. AAH is a multinational charitable organization based in France that is dedicated to eradicating food insecurity. The non-profit assists impoverished kids and offer populations the availability of safe-to-drink fresh water and long-term famine remedies. Originally, the organization helped Afghan outcasts in Pakistan, mass starvation in Ugandan towns, and homeless Cambodia in Thailand. But throughout the 1980s and 1990s, it focused on addressing other humanitarian challenges. Hence, IGO is a formal treaty-based organization formed largely by independent nations or similar organizations to deal with shared mutual values and controlled by international rules. IGOs are formed by an agreement that serves as the parties' constitutions. Agreements are made whenever the legitimate authorities, multiple nations, ratify them, granting the IGO worldwide constitutional cohesion. The World Food Programme, the world's biggest humanitarian organization, focused on issues relating to famine, is one such IGO.
Let's not live in a world of indifference. Let's make a difference in our world, starting in places now facing crises. Turn your attention south of the Sahara Desert to the G5 Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, and Niger, where more than 1 million people now teeter on the edge of starvation. That's 10 times more people on the brink of starvation than in 2019, while 10.5 million people overall will likely be affected by hunger in 2022. As 2.6 million have fled their homes due to spreading conflict, displacement has increased by 400%, with some of the driest conditions since 2011 and staple food prices up by 30%. Needs in the Sahel are sky high, but resourcing is at rock bottom. Your donation makes a difference for those living through it and for future generations.
Famine like wars, has a long history and mostly affects poor nations such as Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Sudan, and Yemen. According to the World Food Programme's most recent Hunger Hotspots report, more than 43 million people in 38 countries are at risk of famine or food crisis unless they get immediate life-saving assistance. Malnutrition is responsible for over half all children fatalities worldwide, and 1 in every 5 children suffers from wasting, which means they are underweight for their height. Smallholder farmers in developing countries are the world's largest group of people living in extreme poverty. They don't have enough land to grow enough food to support themselves all year, and they make so little money selling it that they can afford to buy food from other sources when their own supply runs out. The proportion of undernourished individuals globally grew from 8.9% in 2019 to 9.9% in 2020, reaching around 690 million people. Famine has been affected by climatic, pandemic disease, and conflict in Ukraine and Russia. 1 billion people across the world are hungry. 27% of children under 5 are underweight in the developing world. 12 million people die each year from lack of water. 1 in 3 people die prematurely or exhibit a disability because of malnutrition, and 16,000 children die each day because of food-related reasons. The emergency food supply of relief groups continues to play an important role in minimizing lives, and the worldwide aid community has recently built significantly better security controls, such as the famine early warning system.
What would it take for you to survive if you didn't know where your next meal was coming from? For some, surviving a hunger crisis goes beyond food. Ongoing hunger in a community can leave people exposed to devastating consequences. Hunger is a known cause of conflict, driving displacement and disrupting regular life. But wherever hunger endures, the World Food Programme finds a way to ensure life-saving food is available. Food assistance remains a vital lifeline for people who otherwise go to bed hungry while living in a conflict zone. As conflict's impact can also inhibit future food security, WFP works to improve prospects for peace, enhancing access to contested natural resources and initiating programs to rehabilitate land and water. These life-changing initiatives help improve food security over time, so at this time of unprecedented need, invest in a more peaceful world by helping WFP tackle world hunger.
According to the United Nations, world hunger has become one of humanity's most pressing issues. Nearly 870 million people in the globe suffer from chronic malnutrition. People who are most hungry live in countries with developing economy. There are a lot of negative things happening on the African continent, and there are a few suggestions that are particularly well suited to the problem of famine. Firstly, crop infection must be controlled. Crops are threatened not only by drought and flooding, but also by insect and fungus infestation. Eastern Africa, including Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, and South Sudan, is currently experiencing an unprecedented locust outbreak. As a result, almost 30 million people could go famine. Then, there is the issue of improving the food storage system, where if you have a lot of food but don't have enough space to store it, it has the potential to significantly reduce the starvation gap. Occasionally, large-scale interventions are required, such as the construction or repair of grain storage facilities. This could also be a transformation that takes place in the home. Aside from that, focus on long-term economic objectives. In a variety of methods, development assistance should try to foster economic diversification and enhance job opportunities. when this is combined with investment in microcredit scheme and market development and also long-term agriculture research, food security can be assured. Finally, providing resources directly to a farmer is an action that can be implemented. Farmers, no matter where they are in the world, require a range of resources ranging from education and research to funds to help them acquire seed, fertilizer, and supplying. Providing resources directly to farmers is one of the quickest ways to improve their condition and crop yield, as well as the health and nutrition of their families and the communities.
In conclusion, famines are sustained severe food shortages among distinct groups that result in high mortality rates. Famine is caused by agricultural failures caused by natural disasters such as bad weather, bug plagues, and plant disease. Also, crop loss induced by wars and forced starvations as a political tool. The challenges are undeniably significant. Building resilient food system, on the other hand, take time. As history has proven, it is contingent on national governments' long-term commitment to rural development on food security. On the other hand, would necessitate a long-term commitment from political development partners and the affected people themselves.